All right, y'all, Leland Live, Talk 99.5. AJ, I finally think I got this. It was one wire. It was one wire on the satellite dish here. As we get our roadshow started off to an auspicious beginning with a few tech issues, really it was sun related. That these sensitive computers don't like the direct sunshine very much at all. But I think we got things under control now. Can you see that little image I got popped up right there?
I see you.
I'm working on
You're
them.
broadcasting live on our YouTube channel now. Got the nice Jeep behind
okay,
you.
all right,
Nice
so-
mountain behind you.
That's my road. You can just stall for me. I'll try to show you all the mountains with this other shot. Yeah, man, that's a little overhead shot of the mountains, sort of the corner of the restaurant. And then, of course, our fine folks inside the Yankee Doodle Cafe. Can you see all that Americana in there?
By
the way, we're
I
in
love the
Alpine,
name,
Wyoming.
Yankee Doodle.
Dude, they got stuff. When I walked in this place, first time I ever walked in here, I walked in here to get breakfast. And they had a sign. The first sign I saw said, "Hippies must enter from the rear." Like it's like no hippies. All these pro-gun signs. I wish I could zoom around and read some of them, but those folks are just wrapping up the lunch hour. They've got one of the best breakfasts anywhere in the world, and I have personally just declared this this restaurant the most patriotic restaurant in America. In fact, if I could switch back to the, can you see me there on that view? My little July 4th hat that I bought for the occasion, I got from here in the Yankee Doodle Cafe on our road shows in Alpine, Wyoming. Everything sounding okay now? We're getting back in business?
Now, everything's sounding okay. I mean, you get that little white noise, but outside of that, everything sounds good and looks good.
That's like a ghost in our system that I just cannot figure out. Let me start back with the headlines. Of course, a lot of people in the country. You going to watch the match tonight with the USA and what is it? I already forgot who we're playing. Some other country. Not Bulgaria.
Is it Belgium?
Not Bolivia.
Is it Belgium?
Belgium, yeah, that's it.
Yes.
The Europeans are mad at us. They think that Trump got involved. What's funny is everything is so political in our country nowadays. We can't even celebrate the success of our team. And you might as well have known this because remember when we won we beat the Canadians in hockey and the Liberals were pulling for the Canadians. Well, now they're popping off all over the place only because Trump got involved to help our player get his eligibility back because he got a bogus call and they were costing us just a punitive. We already had to win a game without him and be a man down in the previous match, and then they turn around and do this stuff to these players that wait 4 years to play in these. At best, that was a suspicious call, but what we all suspect is it might have been a little bit bogus on purpose. But anyway, so Trump gets involved, and naturally what happens from there, left wingers decide they can't take it anymore. They've got to be for the Belgians because screw America. But that's their whole ideology. That's why they embrace some of the ideas that they do about our own country, both our history and our future. To be honest with you. But enough of politics. That's one of the biggest stories. It's so funny. The president did a news conference today, and it was a pretty remarkable news conference. And it was winding. It was about everything you would imagine. All kind of topics came up. But the one he kept going back to, and the one the journalists kept going back to, time and time again, was of course the red card issue, because it was still a controversy this morning. I don't think they had ruled that the Belgian appeal was not going to be accepted. And anyway, so Trump went back to it several times and defended his call. What he said he did, and this is highly appropriate for a president of a country. Again, these are national teams. Any other president, Maloney in Italy, would have done the same thing. He dove in and decided that he was going to have a word with the committee that was an unfair way to treat the American team. They reconsidered it. He said he didn't tell them what to do. He just told them he thought the red card was unnecessary and the punishment was overkill, and they're penalizing and taking away from the competitiveness of the match. So anyway, the rest is history. Our player, and I keep forgetting his name because I haven't followed it as closely as a lot of y'all, will be playing tonight. And so that's good news for us. I'm finally excited about it. It took a controversy for me to get excited about World Cup. But again, I said this last hour, and I know we were in and out with some of the tech issues. I'm not even sure what the folks were able to hear. But I think this country and our partner countries here in the Americas have done an incredible job putting on a display for the world. It's been between the Fourth itself, the weekend's events, all these foreigners falling in love with our country. You know what they're loving? They're not loving snotty Hollywood. They're not loving the elites that lecture us about the way we live and how we believe, people that would never set foot here in the Yankee Doodle Cafe in Alpine, Wyoming, that this is podunk dive bar stuff to these guys. That's not who the Europeans were impressed with. They were going out to regular Americans. They were buying cowboy hats. I've seen them around here over the last couple of weeks. They were going to Buc-ee's. They were eating barbecue for the first time, and it's caused Americans to also learn to appreciate a lot of these Europeans too, because and that's what sports is supposed to be. We've ruined it in this country in a lot of ways by politicizing everything. Every sport is subject to a political dispute and debate. Every sport seems to be corrupted right now in a lot of peculiar ways. Even some of the allegations against this red card situation with the American team seems corrupt. And we've seen, of course, with back holes and point shaving and betting and gambling. You know, gambling is eating a lot of sports in America alive. And on that note, let me just stay on sports for a little bit, and we'll get to some of the other issues of the day. But on that note, we have a situation where Alabama and Auburn have teamed up to put a statement out today. They are opposed to a Senate bill that, and I forget the exact name of it, and as soon as I can get to a position where I can see the screen more clearly, I think I have that article still saved from this morning. But they put out a news statement, a joint statement, being opposed to the Senate bill that's supposed to fix the issues in college sports. And it's not unusual for Alabama and Auburn to be on the same side of things when it comes to athletics. I've not been able to sit and parse through two things that I need to be able to catch up on and to become more proficient at. That is, what is the bill attempting to do? It's been so convoluted. And I think what's ironic is you've got two high-profile coaches from both schools that I think are in support of the bill. That would be Nick Saban, who testified before the committee and helped craft the bill, and, of course, Tommy Tuberville, who, although running for governor, is still a senator, and he's been in support of the bill. And I could be a little bit off on the language and the final product and whether or not they're all in on it. But my recollection before I went brain dead on vacation was that both Coach Tuberville and Nick Saban were both foursquare behind this thing. Now their respective universities have come out against it. So you have now, in addition to the situation with
looks like we lost Leland there again, but that's okay. We're going to get him back here shortly.
I got to say this on behalf of some of the players, that these
coaches, there you
are.
Okay.
Particularly Saban, and y'all can get butthurt over this comment if you feel like it. I really don't care. It's nice to be in this age of life. But Saban spent his whole career jacking up the salaries of college football coaches by continuing to leverage his competitiveness and his success for more money. He just did. And good for him, because his success is unparalleled, and many Alabama fans would say he was worth every dime. But that also jacked up the pay of college coaches at the competitive schools. The idea over time is that if you
Yeah, we keep getting in and out interference with Leland. Leland's on location in Wyoming, and of course, you've got the storms coming in. So hopefully, we get all that situated here as we continue to move on with Leland Live on the road. It's always that first show. It's always that first one. We always have those issues, but hopefully, we'll work it out as we continue to move on. And might as well be the best time to go ahead and go to a break real quick and try to get Leland back on. 205-545-9950. You're listening to Leland Live on the road again, right here on Talk 99.5.
Man, AJ, I think that's the last dropout I'm going to have. The main system is back up and under control, and I think we got it all fixed now. I don't even know where I was when that thing dropped out, and I didn't want to leave a half-finished thought on the Saban issue. But I guess just to back up just a little bit and repeat some things, here's a coach who made millions off being a winner and competitive, and he leveraged that to continually get more money, and it's the same thing these players are doing in some ways. I see the difference. I'm not naive. I do see the difference. But I will tell you, it's a little bit, to me, sort of hypocritical, some of these people that there's just probably a better way to do it. I think some people are okay with the players being rewarded for their hard work and their contribution to all the money that these schools make off their backs. A lot of these kids are not going to go on and be in the NFL or be and in fact, let's be honest, some of these kids, if not given the proper education or even cultural training, are going to wind up making some mistakes in life after the colleges are done with them. And we've seen many of these players wind up in prison and jail and in other places. So much for the argument that their gain is a nice college education. That's always been a joke. That's just a joke. They get a different door. They go in a different door and out a different door in the college experience. So if they want to reward them, I suppose they just got to find a better way to reward them. But I was surprised. You would think that with both Tuberville and Saban pushing forward bills to fix this issue and working together, that the schools would all have had some input in that. But now the Alabama and Auburn, of course, have come out in opposition. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about Douglas Cooling and Heating. And I know right now, of any time of the year, y'all appreciate having a good air conditioner system in your home. And if some of y'all are not keeping up, you're just not sleeping well at night, it just doesn't seem to be able to cool off, it might just need cleaning. It might need a servicing if you haven't taken care of it. It might need a replacement. I'll tell you this, you don't want to have to be in line with other people trying to get a replacement when everybody's air starts breaking in heat waves like this. So go ahead and get on their client list. Be like me. I've been with them for 17 years, and they've taken care of every issue, every problem I've had. And soon this summer they'll be doing a new installation. I'm adding some square footage on my house that's going to require some a new air conditioning unit to be added. And so I trust nobody but Douglas and Jay Douglas and his team to come out and get that done for you. Plumbing side to the business, too. They're just great. It is Douglas Cooling and Heating. Y'all can reach them at calldouglas.com, C-A-L-L, calldouglas.com. We are live from Alpine, Wyoming, just outside the Yankee Doodle Cafe. Back here in just a minute. All right, y'all get on back in here. Leland Live, Talk 99.5. As we're in Alpine, Wyoming, first stop on our road shows. Outside, you're inside. I got a camera in there. Look how crowded that place is today. I couldn't even. It's like, where am I going to set up and not be in the way? I didn't want to cost these guys any trouble. They got their flow in their restaurant. What a patriotic, wonderful, all-American experience if you're ever somehow in Alpine, Wyoming, to go and hang out with these fine folks. We'll talk more about them in just a minute. Birmingham Broker bringing you the show tonight. BirminghamBroker.com, BHAMBroker.com. I do appreciate Craig and Keith. They've been with us for years, too, just years and years on the show. Now, Craig, he's my friend, so he knows he can reach out to me anytime. I was literally just riding a bike in the Grand Tetons and was in cell range. I got a call from Craig. I thought something's up because he knew I was out of town, so must be urgent. And for Craig, it very much was. And it's good news for you. So by now, Birmingham Broker is a business that sells cars for people. They do brokerage sales downtown Birmingham. In other words, if you got a car or truck or SUV for sale, instead of trading it in and getting that low ball price, they'll get it done for you. They'll sell it. They'll find a buyer. They'll do the haggling. They'll get it all straight. And you get the benefit of not having to do much of anything, which I love everything about that model. And I've sold every car. Anybody in my family that has a car deal to do, we've done it with Birmingham Broker over the last few years. So, and here's what Craig called me about. He said, look, I'm out of inventory. They have sold everything people have consigned with them and put on the lot. And so that means that he's got buyers on the hook. They've got a constant stream of people searching out vehicles. So you may just get top dollar right now. If you're thinking about doing a car trade, I would not let that opportunity go by and go trade it in wholesale. Just because I know you get on fire when you find a new car, you get all excited. I do too. I've done that too. You get all jazzed up and you just can't wait to get that new ride, and you just let yours go. You just need it gone. You'd rather it be off your back. You don't want to fool around with selling it, but that's a huge financial mistake. Birmingham Broker can sell it. Just give them a couple of days, put it on their lot, and let them go to work for you. And you might be very, very surprised at the work they can do and how good they can handle that deal for you. It's BHAMBroker.com. They're downtown Birmingham, again, 4th Avenue South. Easy to find. And let Craig and Keith get that thing unloaded. And once again, they need, let me say this again, he was real urgent. Craig doesn't panic. He's too laid back. But he's like, dude, I'm out of cars. That was the first thing he said when I answered the phone. He goes, get me some cars. He goes, we have sold everything. These guys are good. So they can move that vehicle for you right now if it's in the middle of summer and it's time to do that. Take it to Birmingham Broker, BHAMBroker.com, BHAMBroker.com. One of the other sponsors here on the show for the road trip, of course, are our friends over at Appalachian Foothills RV and Service Center. By the way, I'll be giving away some hats. What I may do is they gave me a bunch of hats and sweatshirts to give away on the trip, and I've already given some to some Alabamians that I've run across, Tiffin owners and people that are in our proximity. They have customers all over the country because they specialize in RV service, repair of things. There's so many, it's like a rolling house. You got household stuff, you got mechanical stuff and paint and body. And for me, it was to get on this trip, I had to get the AC fixed and the generator fixed and the hot water fixed and so many things. And they're good for all that, and they do top-notch work. And they even got an RV part there. A lot of folks like to stay with their unit while they're in line getting stuff done, and they can totally hook you up there at their park. They're just up the road off exit 30 on I-22. Easy drive from Birmingham, and any of y'all that are out there RVing, you need to reach out to them and get to know them, because from time to time, my experience is you're going to hit something. At least I do. Every now and then I go bump. I'll hit a tree or a mailbox or back into something. Or the other day I scraped past a tree, and I know I did some paint damage. I got to get them to take a look at that at some point. Again, Appalachian Foothills bringing you the Leland Live America's 250 Road Show this year out here in the American West. I'm super excited about the shows, too. Some of them are finally coming together, and especially now that I think we got the last of our tech issues worked out, y'all will be able to see what we're doing and the people we're hanging out with and talking to out here in the Great American West. So hang out with us, and you're welcome to join us on all of the platforms where we have Talk TV. Let me just promote our product for a minute. We're primarily a radio show, and as is the case nowadays, there are TV cameras on everything. So we have simultaneous live, and of course these things are re-podcasted, I guess, on YouTube and some of the other platforms, and we call ours Real Talk TV. So all of the shows are separated hour by hour every day if you want to go back and watch. And what I'm trying to do with all this, sometimes it's not that compelling just staring at us sitting in a studio talking in a microphone, but it's pretty fun to see the places and take a look around. For example, let me do that real quick with this camera. See if I can make tell me if you can see any of this, AJ, if it's looking good. So Alpine, Wyoming, the place I'm in now, is in a valley. They call this general area Star Valley, and it's where the Grays River, and I can just see a little bit here from the parking lot with this camera angle. I'm going to move that camera out to a better spot here in just a little while so y'all can see a little bit more. But that's kind of what's out here just outside. And I'm actually camped at the base of those mountains right there. Got to do some fly fishing in the Grays River, which runs into the Snake River right here at this junction. What a beautiful part of the country. Y'all can put this on your list of things to do while you've got the ability to do it. Leland Live Talk 99.5 on the road, America's 250. Back here in just a minute. Y'all stay tuned. Back in a second. All right, y'all, let's keep going. Leland live on the road, America's 250 in Alpine, Wyoming. Just taking care of things out here, and actually, it's finally gotten warm here. We've been talking a lot about the weather. I know that's been a big deal back home, the heat wave. Everybody that's all of my friends and family back home just all talking about the heat right now. It is July. It's what happens, but we're dealing with it here, even where it's been very cool mountain weather, kind of a warm afternoon. And did you see those clouds, AJ? First, it was the sun frying my equipment. Now I'm worried about those bad boys. I don't know which direction they're going, but I hope they don't keep coming this way. Every afternoon it does seem to rain in this part of the country, which is good based on the drought. Just south of here, you go just maybe 40 or 50 miles, and you got very, very serious drought and fire danger situations. And when you travel out west, you'll see these little thermometer things that they'll put on the sides of the road to indicate the fire danger, and it's not even, it's sort of moderate right now on those things. It's in the middle compared to just south of here where it's extremely high, and they're putting out all kinds of warnings. You know, the El Nino pattern is out there this year, and we always wonder, what does that mean? It's been around for centuries. It's something that was first observed by fishermen in the Pacific, but it's a heating of the Pacific waters. And no, if your typical purple-haired nose ring chick wants to tell you that it's climate change, it is not. That heating comes from beneath the surface on the crust of the ocean, a lot of tectonic activity, and then it heats up the water, and then the waters affect the distribution of the rain. So some parts of the country like ours start dealing with flood situations, and then you have other parts of the country that start dealing with droughts. Everything sort of gets redistributed. We really don't know what that means for us for winter. I've been trying to investigate it and talking to some of my meteorologist buddies, and they'll tell you that could mean, you know, more snow for our part of the country as we move along and get into, sure enough, wintertime. I wouldn't mind that too much, but everything is going to be a little funky as the weather sort of gets repositioned all over the world. You've seen these heat waves in Europe. Some of that's already being attributed to this El Nino pattern, which is supposed to be one of the strongest since, I think, the 1700s when things were first really being measured. By the way, Michelson Laser Vision, I'm always so when I get on trips like this, I'm so grateful for being able to see so clearly. Many of you know the story, and I've told it for years since I got LASIK at Michelson. After years of encouragement with friends, they kept saying, "Man, why are you wearing glasses?" And they kind of shamed me a little bit. I really did. I wrote them off as people that were just trying to justify something they did, and I didn't really listen to the true side of it. When I had a friend say, "It'll change your life," I thought, that's just a little bit exaggerated. He wasn't exaggerating. It is life-changing to be able to see clearly all the time without glasses or contacts, and that's my position with Michelson Laser Vision. Now, again, I've told you since they got this new iteration of the laser, they have this new laser. It's called the Contura system, and it can fix things. In the past, you might have been told that you weren't a candidate for LASIK or this kind of laser surgery. It can fix those things. Night visions, halo problems, other scar tissue issues. Y'all need to go. Some people did different type procedures over the years with different places, and it didn't quite work when the other technologies were not being successful. And this can fix some of that damage. You need to talk to them at Michelson, the pioneer of the laser in Alabama, and my trusted place with your eyes. Go see them, get the consult, make your own mind up. It's MichelsonLaserVision.com. Dr. Mark, Dr. Jennifer, downtown UAB Highlands, MichelsonLaserVision.com. All right, on with the countdown. Let me get, is E still there, AJ? You were telling me that E is hanging out with us.
Yes.
What's up, buddy? E, what you know, man?
Hey, man, so good to have you back on the air, man. I miss
Well, thank you. Yeah, I was ready to get back to work. Everybody loves being on vacation, and I had a really relaxing time. But when you love what you do, sometimes you look forward to getting back to the routine. So today was that day, back in the grind now, baby.
Glad to have you back. So,
Thanks, buddy.
I'm a big soccer fan. I just want to say that, and I support. My team lost last week to USA. I have nothing I live here. Of course, I'm a U.S. citizen. The one thing that I kind of have an issue with is when Auburn or Alabama or another, school that plays college football and they get a bad call. If Trump came and said, "Oh no, that's wrong," and I do admit it was that red card should have never happened. It was such a bad call. But I think that just makes us look really, really bad to others.
Well, I mean, they had an appeals process. Okay, I mean, let me defend Trump. I get what you're saying. They have an appeals process that's set up for calls like this when penalties are doled out like that. Now, I'm no expert on football or soccer, as we call them, just not. I'm learning this listening to the commentary. My understanding is the officials are not even supposed to use slow motion replay on calls like this. They only use slow motion on goals and out of bounds issues. And in this case, they used it. And when you slow it down, it looks like a more severe penalty, I guess. But these are national teams, and who else but to defend the team than the president of the country that's been aggrieved by the process? I would believe any other world leader would want their team to stay competitive. And Trump did the right thing, and I think most of the country agrees with him making that call. He didn't tell them what to do. He just said, that deserves a review, and they did. And they checked the referees on the field.
And I agree with you 100%. That call was a bad call. I don't know. I guess maybe I overthink it or whatever, but it just, I don't know, made us kind of look, I don't know.
Well, like I said, if it were a college sport and it was just somebody's personal team, that's a little different if a president wanted to get involved. Even though we now have Congress getting involved in this NIL mess, we've been talking about that on the show already.
Right.
But these are national teams that nation versus nation every 4 years in a sport that's more important to the rest of the world than us, at least until this particular World Cup. And so, yes, I mean, I think that's a different scenario. And you would, if a president didn't intercede, I'd be more critical. If a previous president let's just accept the rule and play the weak hand. That's just not in that dude's character. He doesn't play the weak hand. He defends what he believes in, and good for him.
So do you think tonight, what's his name, the young man, do you think he's going to be playing for the U.S. or?
Well, they've already
decided yet?
Yeah, there was Belgium was able to get them to reconsider their suspension, and then they ruled against Belgium earlier this morning. Now, I don't know. I've been mired up in being a one-man band out here trying to get all this tech to work, and have not really kept up in about the last hour, but I'm going to check some things during the break. I don't think there have been any other decisions. The committee, my understanding, and again, I'm a complete novice to this, but the committee said that Belgium did not have standing to file an appeal. In other words, they weren't part of that game where that call was made. So they didn't have standing to challenge something that happened in a game that didn't have anything to do with them. So, and they look like a bunch of poons. I don't care. Maybe there's some of y'all pull for the Belgians. You want to play the best. We deal with that sometimes. We keep bringing up college football because that's our thing. But sometimes you'll have a team celebrate when the opposing team's best player gets injured, and there's a benefit. I remember years ago in Alabama, I think it was when they won their first national championship under Saban. What was that quarterback's name? Texas had a quarterback go out. He got his bell rung, and it affected the game. And, if you really are a fan of the sport and you want to beat the best and be the best because you beat the best, you want to play their best. And if you're pulling for them to play you handicap, that just looks weak. I'm not saying Bama fans did that, but I remember people celebrating an injury. And I had football players. I raised a couple of my boys played through high school, and one was recruited into college. He chose otherwise. But so we were part of that culture for a long time. And I've seen the devastating effects of injuries on these players. And it's just, you see the game a different way, all sports a different way when your kids are out there competing. And so, again, back to your point, E, I just think in the World Cup scenario, I think it'd be true probably for the Olympics too. You wouldn't want to get screwed. You remember how we used to get screwed by the French and the Russians in the subjective sports like, ice skating and anything that requires judges, sometimes gymnastics.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
They'd always rule against America because, it was the Cold War and the Russians hated us. And they'd always, if there was a Russian judge, we'd get screwed. That's always
and nobody
the internet.
Stood up for us.
Right. I mean, I don't remember any other president interceding over a particular event. Some believe the World Cup to the rest of the world is even bigger than the Olympics. And I've traveled overseas when all this stuff was going on years ago when I was young, and I can tell you they are more passionate and fanatical about that in some ways than we are even our biggest thing in the South, which is college football. I mean, it's very similar to them. It's very meaningful to them, and they don't take losing very lightly. And so, yeah, then it transitions into politics only because you got nation versus nation. Does that make sense?
See, this is why I'm glad you're back on the air. Because even if we disagree on something, we can still have a normal conversation.
Well, there you go, E.
Just go from there.
I like that, man.
Like, now that you explained it, I can see what you're talking about, and I 100% agree with you.
Yeah, buddy. All right, man. I appreciate you.
You have a safe trip, buddy.
Thank you, man.
See you next time.
Hey, look, I look forward to talking to the rest of you. I think we're in a position now, AJ, to start taking calls. And if y'all want some comedy in the next 3 weeks, tune in at the first of every show to see if I'm even going to make it on. Every time you move, it's a challenge. And we just had some transmission issues early on that was causing, and I think I had some, what I've learned, AJ, is I'm going to go buy a tent if I have to go outside again. I'm staying in the shade because some of the places we're traveling to are going to be near 100 degrees. And the first thing you think about when you're in that environment is, am I going to be too hot, right? I was like, I'll just drink plenty of water. Then all the equipment started overheating, and I learned a quick lesson about doing this stuff on the road by yourself. Anyway, right now we are outside the Yankee Doodle Cafe. Let me take you inside. They let me stick a camera in there. Oh, the lunch crowd's gone. I could fit in there now. But these guys, this place is legendary in this little town in this corner of the world, and the whole place is decked out. And it's not just for the 4th. The first time I ever went in there to eat breakfast, I saw all this stuff. You got my favorite memory of this restaurant. I was sitting. You see where the lady's standing, AJ? I was sitting right across from her at that table right there eating breakfast. And to her left, kind of on the left side of your screen, there was a row of old guys, old cowboys and folks that live here. This is very, unlike Jackson, which is a very posh billionaire kind of town, right up the road, ski resort, all that. Completely different culture 30 miles down the road. These are real deal Wyomingians, and they love this country. And so there were these old men sitting there at that table, about 10 of them. And it was just them and me. I was eating breakfast kind of late in the morning. They were having their coffee, and basically, AJ, they were doing our show. they were having a roundtable discussion about the news of the day. That's how Before Talk Radio got so big. That's how people did it. You just met up with your friends and had it out. So they were debating whatever was going on that day, and I was kind of tuning them out because I was off work. But I was over there by myself, and they said, "Young man, are we bothering you?" I said, "No, sir. I'm kind of enjoying it." They said, "Well, come over here and speak your mind." And I was like, "No, y'all just go ahead." I just didn't want to get involved in all that stuff. But I was listening to how they talked and their fervent love of this country, and there was just something that reminded me of growing up about that. Every town had a little cafe like this, and these are meeting spots around the world. And so I told myself, as I ever get a chance to go back through Alpine and take the radio, let me scan around a little bit and show y'all. These folks are finally getting to take a break. They were going 100 miles an hour. And later I want to interview the owners. Let me see, there's a little banner on the other side. I'm trying to just scan around the restaurant. I think I'm heading toward the bathrooms now. Let me go back. But yeah, I want to talk to the owners later. Just they've had this concept and this fervently patriotic theme in here. And I'm going to tell you, AJ, y'all do the food show. I should call into y'all tonight because I came here and ordered meatloaf with mashed potatoes for lunch last week. And when they give you meatloaf and mashed potatoes, it's like, you remember Hungry Man when it was just covered in gravy?
Mm-hmm.
It was nothing but a plate. There was brown gravy on everything, and there was 2 lumps under there where the potatoes. That's all I could see. I couldn't even see. It was this thick brown gravy, and it was heavenly. I ate all of it, and then I went and laid down for about an hour. It was like eating when the python eats a little baby antelope, and you get that big lump in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I felt when I went and took my nap after.
You went into hibernation for a little bit.
Dude, man, it was heavy. And that's just how, that's how we eat in America, man. Red meat, and God bless them. But anyway, a wonderful place. If you're ever on this side of the world, y'all pop in the Yankee Doodle. And they were kind enough to let us hang out here at the cafe this afternoon to get our road show started. 545-9950. If you want to get in on the show, we'd love to talk to you. Alabama Gold Refinery, man, gold has just been on a tear lately. Let me check the spot price, if y'all don't mind, while we're standing here getting things rolling this afternoon. Because the stock market has just been blowing through the roof. Now, that concerns some people. If y'all want advice on that, I say you talk to my friend Danny Knowles. But if you're thinking about having and owning, physically owning gold or silver or platinum or any of these commodities, I'm telling you, you got to go. You got to go see my man Steve over at Alabama Gold Refinery. They can do it in person. Yeah, gold's at 41.76. If you'd have bought gold when they first started advertising on the show, you'd have more than doubled your money. Same thing for silver. Even though we did see gold get into the 5,000s for a minute, it has real value. It's tangible. It's real. It's always sellable. It's exchangeable. You can possess it in private, basically. And Steve will help you with those transactions in the most fair way in a secure shop that has all the things you need to get in and out of there and take care of your trading. Whether you have cash, you want to start collecting a little gold, silver, or platinum, or you have gold, silver, and platinum in the collectible form, or even in sort of what we call scrap, just old jewelry pieces and maybe broken chains or things that you're just not using anymore, and you want to get cash value for them. They'll do that for you in the middle of Homewood, right there on 29th near the Regions Bank. Again, a safe place, a fair place. Steve's just a wealth of information, and it's kind of fun to get involved in this stuff. And with Christmas coming, maybe you want to do some of these kind of things with your kids or grandkids, is get them started with some investing. We had the Trump accounts, which I'm going to talk about today, got kicked off today. That's a stunning program and really smart and innovative on behalf of America's kids. And it's just hard to find a way to criticize what's going on with that. And again, I'll talk more about it in a minute. But teaching your kids lessons about putting their money in smart places, you can never start too soon. And when they can hold it in their hand like a silver coin or a gold coin or something like that, that's real. That starts to teach them, and then they can keep up with the prices. So, man, I'm telling you, before Christmas gets here and you get too far down the road, consider something like that, and you can do it over with Steve in Homewood on 29th at AGR, AlabamaGoldRefinery.com. Back here in Alpine, Wyoming in just a minute. All right, y'all. Leland Live, Talk 99.5. There's another wonderful sponsor to the show that I could not have really been able to do a lot of this trip without, and that is my friend Michael down at Tapco. Now, Tapco is a service center. They can't handle your cars and trucks and SUVs and all your service work, from just early maintenance to weird problems that pop up. So on a trip like this, I bring a Jeep along. I had it in the background a second ago. And my little Jeep is everything, because you get parked and everything is so far away. Just to go see a park, you may drive an hour and a half, 2 hours to get into and around in the park. So my Jeep is essential. And it's a lot of mountain driving with hills and curves and sketchy roads and hard driving out here. And so I really wanted my Jeep to be in top shape. So I took it to Michael right before the trip and said, man, this thing's going to be towed 6,000 miles and driven another couple of thousand. I need everything on it to be right. I don't want to be stranded. And so they went through it. I knew it needed an oil change, needed some basic stuff. And they did. They found some issues and showed them to me very, very quickly. Like within 45 minutes, I knew what had to be addressed. It was some seal bearings and stuff that could have really caused me some trouble, that it started leaking. I wouldn't have noticed. And I'm so glad they did that. They were able to, that afternoon, get that knocked out and get my Jeep to me. They brought it to me. They've got a courtesy vehicle, and they'll help you that way too. Say you want to drop your ride off downtown Birmingham and get them to take care of it and then get it back to you. They'll either get it back to you or give you a ride to work and come pick you back up. They've just, with their courtesy program. And Michael, I mean, it's such a professional shop. Nowadays, cars, trucks, and SUVs are so sophisticated. You just don't go to a mechanic anymore. You got to go to people to understand all the electronics and computers. It's Tapco, downtown on 6th Avenue South. They're very near Iron City. Take your ride down to Michael. Let them go through it. Something goes wrong, man, just for your maintenance, they're day-to-day, they're just great like that. You know, all the oil changes and tires and things that you got to routinely do. But sometimes you're going to get a mystery sound or vibration or light on the dash, and they can handle it. They'll absolutely trace that down and get it done without a lot of, and they're so fair and honest with their pricing structure, and they were with me as well. You'll see the difference. And by the way, still a 10% discount. They're new to the show, and a lot of our new advertisers will give incentives like that to get y'all to try them. So go try them. Tell them, drop my name, get 10% off your service down at Tapco, T-A-P-C-O, TapcoBHAM.com, 6th Avenue South. I mentioned the Trump accounts a second ago. Trump rang the bell for Wall Street. I think both big bells from the White House today. I don't think that's ever happened. And it's because today was the day they kicked off all these Trump accounts, which got started by, I think it was a $6.5 billion contribution from Michael Dell that created and founded Dell Computers. And then other companies started joining in. There's a rumor that SpaceX is going to contribute a couple of million shares to this program. And the way it works is 500,000 kids in this country of a certain age, born in this country, will automatically be eligible for one of these accounts that's going to just sit there and grow in value without having to put a thing into it. A lot of good corporate citizens and other institutions are saying, yeah, we'll put some money in it too. Parents can also contribute, but you got to go and do some of the proactive stuff yourself to get your kids signed up and registered. It's just wonderful. It teaches at a time when you've got losers and absolute fools like these Democrat socialists trying to hijack our system. They'll never pull it off, but they're trying. And teaching kids the wrong values about how you can be productive and build something for yourself. Here's a whole different approach where they're given something, yes, but allowed to learn about how it grows if you leave it alone, and how you can actually own something in this country one day because of the generosity of some people that did that themselves. How American is that after 250 years? That was wonderful. Back in a minute.